Target Trading Academy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Preston Vogl here at Target Trading Academy with today's Micros Market Recap. Today is Friday. It's March 4th, just after 4 p.m., so the New York floor is closed there. Let's get into it with micro oil. We can see here that we clearly opened inside of yesterday's range, well above the high, so we opened gap up, and they decided to bring it up higher. They found some resistance and decided to test that low, and they just couldn't quite get it, and they just finished it net positive again around 115.71 as the close there. So pretty close to that high. There's the close. So in this bar. So gas is going up. Now gold, quite a bit of activity in gold today. Now let me scroll back for us here, but we did open gap up from yesterday's close. Quite a bit of participation. I believe news was coming out just around there, but they set a floor and they just couldn't get through it. They didn't want to go back to the close, I guess, and the buyers just bought it. They blew through this level here. That's okay, it happens. And then they found a resistance area and they decided to take it back to the opening support, tested that, and it held. So I mean, these levels are given out to our students each night, so you can see how well those held. First when it first opened, a couple times there, and then that last time they tested it, and well, they couldn't get through, and I guess the buyers blew through that resistance on the way up, and gold also finished net positive for the day. Now our equities, they opened gap down. Let me scroll back for us here. Well below the close from yesterday here. Well, I say well below. It wasn't terribly far. They could have made a run to it if they really wanted to, but we opened up on this level here, and they just couldn't quite get through it if they wanted to sell. They faked out a bunch of people as they possibly thought that maybe they will go to the close, and they just had a trouble getting through this support right where they opened. It's understandable on our HVA level that we give our students out the night before. You guessed it. But they finally broke through and decided to make some lows, and for the most part it was pretty slow today. They tried that high a couple times, and then they kept going to the low, and they finally broke just before lunch after attempting so many times on that downside to come back up. And then they tested the high, made a new high, but again the sellers got stuffed. And then you can see here they drove it down a little bit, and like I said, it was just choppy. They couldn't get any farther than what they've already had, so it was pretty sideways today. But they finished net down because they just couldn't quite get back to that close, but above the open of today. Similar story in the NASDAQ, but a little bit more participation on these levels at those edges. So let me scroll back here. You'll see that we opened much like in the ES, down from the close. They had a little bit more of a run up than we saw in the ES before they found some resistance, and then it came back down, stalled at the level, and then made a low. Attempted that move up again, but they just couldn't quite make it, and decided to make some newer lows. And they actually never came back up, unlike the ES where they tested that high again. And pretty much settled over there. So we finished a lot lower in the NASDAQ in comparison percentage-wise than in the ES. So I mean, they just couldn't quite get back up there to that high that they did. And like the ES, they surpassed it and made a new high, but NASDAQ, they never made a new high from that initial balance that they threw in. Definitely threw in some newer lows though. You can see that they had a real tough time getting below that HVA. They'd make it a little bit below. I kind of zoomed past it just a little bit, but there's the low of the day. You can see they kind of went as an extension beyond it, but overall, they just could not get past this HVA level that our students get out or get the night before on their charts. So we did finish around here as the close settled in. So we are net down in the equities, net up in oil and gold. If you're interested in finding out more information about these levels that our students are given the night before their trading session, feel free to reach out to us or learn how to trade futures. We are a trading education company, so give us a look up on Facebook. You can find us there as well, or go to our website at targettradingacademy.com. Get in touch with us there, and a representative will be able to give you a little snapshot of what we do in our rooms, and you'll see why we are the #1 education company for trading in the world. And we'll look forward to seeing you.